Hey there everyone. Just thought I'd do a quick video today about actually dropping off this 54-inch quick hitch snowblower that I have. One of the other channels that I watch, Tale of Three Cabins, he had mentioned that he was kind of against possibly getting the front-mounted snowblower because one of the downsides, I think a lot of people probably see in it, is that if you want to use your loader in the wintertime, that this thing, there's so many components, you got to pull everything apart, pull everything off the tractor in order to get your loader back on, right? And one of the whole nice things about these 1025s is, right, they're transformers. You can take parts off and on very quickly, attachments. So one of the things I had mentioned to him in the video that it's really not that bad. I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to it when I put it on in the fall and take it off in the spring. But it really doesn't take me that long. I had to actually put the loader on just after Christmas. I had a Christmas present I got my wife down here. I stored it in the barn, and I had to actually take it up to the house for her. And I needed to use the forklifts to do that, so I had to drop the snowblower off and do it. And I was really surprised that it doesn't really take that long. And I think without having one of the snowblowers, a lot of people might be a little confused as to exactly what's going to happen. So the snowblower is really made up of three pieces. You have the snowblower itself. You have the quick hitch right here, the quick attach, which goes onto the tractor, and then you have a second piece, which is the loader mount, which is specific to the tractor. So this same snowblower could be used on a 2 series. I don't know if it could be used on a 3 series. I know the 1 and 2 series it can be used on. And you just have to get a different adapter plate for the front to go to the quick hitch, and then the quick hitch to the snowblower is the connection. So to drop it off, it's actually pretty simple. You need to take and disconnect these two lines. Make sure we're going to lower it down there. I just got it sitting on some 2x4s because it's easier to get the forks underneath it. So we're going to drain the hydraulic pressure off. So these top 2 lines, we're going to drop off first. Quick hitch, we're going to kind of pull these through. Oh, not too bad. I mounted now you might mount these line holders a little differently. I like running it inside the grill. I had a problem when I initially did it where I had it ran underneath here and it was drooping down too much and it almost caught my tire. But these are just the hydraulic lines that allow you to move the chute back and forth. So once you get that done, there's a small drive shaft down in here that we're going to disconnect, and then you're just going to pull these pins, and then we can actually drop the whole snowblower off. I can go move the camera in so you can see a little bit more about exactly what I'm doing in here. Alright, so we got the camera readjusted. So you can see this small drive shaft right here. It's just a collar right here, you pull back and you pull off, loosens it up. There's a holder here, slide it over. It just kind of lets this sit and holds it up in the air so it doesn't get caught in anything. There's these 2 pins. I'm going to pull this side. You can see me pulling this side. And they lock in place. So that's all disconnected now. So now I can start the tractor up and I can actually lower, that quick hitch down. So if I actually put a little pressure on here, won't even start it up now. Oh. There it goes. So it only needs to drop down a little bit. So you can see that we dropped down far enough just to get these pins off. It doesn't really drop down enough. I put it, and I don't know if you can see it, there's a 2x4 underneath here. It's going to drop onto that in a second, and then I have 2x4s that are actually underneath the edge. I typically like to leave that there so it doesn't freeze to the ground in my barn. It gets cold if it melts off. I don't want the water pooling on it, making everything rust. It just keeps it up off the ground. And as I said, for me to move this onto the pallet that I store it on, it's also easier for me to get the forks underneath it to initially lift it up to set it back over there. That's why I have it up on the 2x4s, but you don't have to do that. So I'm going to start the tractor up now, back it down, and then I'll show you how to take this next section off. Alright, got the camera repositioned. Just going to jump up here, start it up. I'm just going to back the tractor up now. That's where I take the brake off. That was pretty painless so far. Again, original tractor cab. I'll have to do a video on that later. I just got this year. What a difference. Incredible. I actually had to take my jacket off snow blowing the other day because I got too hot inside the cab. So once that gets done, the next section you're going to want to drop these next two lines off. Again, this is for what would be either boom lift This is to actually lift the snowblower up and down. So we're going to take these quick connectors off. Drop these off. I didn't do this on the last two, but I'll do it on these ones when I get done. Or those when I get done. We can pull it through here. Again, this is how I feed mine through. I don't know if it's exactly how the book tells you to. I have another video I'll have to upload that was actually when I initially installed this, because I did it myself and didn't have the dealer do it, and there wasn't a whole lot of instructions out there, and I struggled with it a little bit. So if I can help somebody else do it, that's what I'll try to do. Now the next thing we have to do is, you can't really see it, but there's, maybe you can kind of see it. There's a drive shaft underneath here that connects to the mid-mount PTO. So again, I'm going to crawl underneath there, you just slip collar, you pull it off, it drops, and then the whole shaft slides forward, because that actually goes through and mounts in a carrier bearing that's up in the front of this quick hitch. So I'm going to drop that off right now real quick. Oh, that wanted to come off. There we go. So in order for that to slide forward, is again, I said there's a hex shaft that goes through the carrier bearing up here. And so I just had to put a little bit of up pressure on there, and then the whole thing just slid forward. So you can see the shaft there. I'll just pull it out now, so you can kind of see. So here's the shaft. You can see the hex. This slides through that carrier bearing. Just going to set this over. I usually store it right here. Just kind of gently set it up here on top. Find us a good level place to keep it. So once that's done, there's two pins again. Pull this, it locks open. Same one on the other side. And basically you can pick this up and lift. And then this comes off. And again, normally I would put this on the pallet when I'm done with it for the spring. But unfortunately not quite done. So now that the quick hitch is set off, the next thing is just this adapter, which is for the 1 Series tractor. I don't know about the 2 Series, again, or the 3 Series if this one fits it. I can only talk to the 1 Series because that's what I have experience with. So basically you pull this off and this rod comes out. Now, you might be thinking, do you really need to take this off? Well, I thought the same thing and I tried it. However, the stand on the loader, you can kind of see behind me there, when you bring it up and the loader stand goes to fold back up, it actually catches on this. So it doesn't work. You do have to take this off, but again, it's a slip ring. This comes off, this pulls out, this drops down, picks up, and comes off. There's one little electronic clip underneath here that you got to take off. And what this is for is this is the override. Because when you have the mid-mount PTO on, if any of you have the 1025s, you know that as soon as you go to back up, that the PTO shuts off. Unless you hold the button down. When you're snow blowing it, it's really hard to do that. So the snowblower, they give you an override that actually mounts into it up in the front in here, and they tell you how to wire it in, but it overrides that so that you can go forwards and backwards with the snowblower on, and you don't have to keep holding down the PTO button. Very nice feature. I know there's a lot of people who have who've taken and I guess overridden that so that you don't actually have to hold down the PTO switch when you back up when you're mowing. If you have that, you don't really need to install this. However, you know, that's a safety feature that you're overriding. Now I do keep a plug for that. They give you a spare in here. Somewhere I got it. Along with everything else in my toolbox. Oh, that's it. But there's they give you an extra plug, and it's really not a plug, it's just a cap. So the cap kind of goes on. There we go. So the cap basically is just you can see just a little seal. It's a cap that goes on. It just keeps the end of the wires protected. And what I usually do is cap this off and I kind of tuck it back in up underneath. Let me just get this plugged in. I just tuck it over up in the front here, around where the battery box is. Just in here behind the frame so it doesn't catch anything. So once that's done, that's it. You're done. Now you can take and I can go and I can throw the loader on like you normally would. All right, now that we got that disconnected, I'll take and show you that, just to prove to you that you can pop that on with everything that's still on the tractor. I'll kind of show you how to throw the front end loader on. pressure relief. Should be good. Yeah, this was one of the main reasons I looked into this tractor, was once I saw how truly easy it was to pop all this stuff on and off, and how quick it was. Before this, I had a 1954 Massey Ferguson, which was a good tractor, and I did quite a bit with it, but just nowhere near as versatile. Did have a front end loader on it. However, those tractors weren't really made to have front end loaders on them. It was kind of an aftermarket deal, and it had a really small, like half-yard bucket, and you couldn't. You got some load in there and you couldn't do anything. It had no power. Those tractors had no power steering. It's like the old 8N or 9N Fords. No power steering on them. So you get a load on there and it was like all you could do to try to turn the wheel to do anything. So even with ballast on the back, it just always felt not right. It was hard to steer. So this thing is just leaps and bounds. I can't speak enough about these little subcompact tractors. And no, they're not. I know they're not a full farm tractor, but for what I need to be able to mow my yard, I have 50 acres of land I maintain. This thing works tremendous with all the attachments that I got. I'm leaps and bounds happy with it. So, but look at this. Come back on here real quick. Literally just as easy as that. But you can see this, so you can see in here the stand where it came off, that other bracket that was here, it would hit when it tried to come back up. So there's just really no way to leave that, that adapter bracket for the quick hitch on the tractor. So, but again, it's just, to me, I was able to snap this back on. I can go up, dig up my septic tank, get ready to have it pumped out. I can drop this back off if we get some more snow, hopefully. I know it's only the end of February. We got a whole other month. We could get snow, but hopefully we won't get too much more. But again, I know it's only a 10-minute job if I got to drop this off and throw that back on. So anyways, hope this video helps you. If you were curious about the snowblower, we're thinking about getting one, but you didn't really want to have the time to take it all the way off and put it back on if you needed to use your loader. As you can see, it really doesn't take that much time. So hope everyone has a good day. Take care. God bless.